Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to start building a video sharing web application with Django and Python. This will span across multiple videos as we add more and more features to the application. In this video we're just going to set up the project and add some class-based views to get the CRUD operations added. CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete. We will add the ability to create video uploads to the site, retrieve them from the database, update the uploads, and delete them from the database. We won't worry about authentication or any other important parts of these views yet. We're just going to get it functional for now. This tutorial is definitely not meant for complete beginners to Python or Django. The entire application will be built from scratch, but we'll go through the beginning stages relatively quickly. You should have a good understanding of models, URL patterns, and views, including class-based views, before starting this project. With that said, let's start building this application. So the first thing we do is open up a terminal, and in here we will start by creating a virtual environment. So I'll type Python3 -m venv, call it env here. We'll create that. And then we'll go ahead and activate it by typing source env/bin/activate. And now with our environment activated, we're going to start by installing Django. So I'll type pip install Django. And now with Django installed, we'll go ahead and start our project. So to do so, I'll type Django-admin start project, and I'll call this one video share. And you'll see here that created this video share folder with our open this up, some settings, URLs, everything else we need to start a project. And now with the project started, we need to create an app. And in Django, if you're not familiar, an app is just like a small function of the total application. So in this case, we want a videos app to handle all the video functions, including all the CRUD applications we're going to create right here. And to do that, we'll type Python3 manage.py. Actually, first, before we do that, make sure we need to go into this directory first. So I'll type cd video share, and I'll type Python3 manage.py start app videos. Now we'll create our videos app right here. And now, before we start with that, we need to go into our settings and we need to add this videos app to our installed apps. So right here at the install apps, I'll go ahead and just type videos in quotes. Make sure to add a comma here. Save that. Get rid of that. And now with our app added and everything else ready to go, we can start building our index page. And so just to test that everything's working, I want to create a simple HTML page that will just say index and just load at the root URL just so we know everything's working properly. So to do that, I'll go to my videos app. I'll go down to my views. I'm going to start by creating a simple view. And this will be a function-based view, but most of the views we'll create will be class-based views. But just as a test, I'll create a function-based view to start. So I'll type def index, pass in request. And within here, I'll just return render request. And I'll put videos/index.html. We'll go and save that. And then I'll jump into my URLs. And I'll add this to the root URL. To do so, I'll type path, empty string, and I'll type video. Before we do that, let's go and import them. Before I forget to do that, I'll import from videos, import views as video views. I'm doing it this way in case we end up adding more apps later on. I don't want the names to overlap. So I'll just call them video views so we know what app we're in to get these views. So now I'll add video views.index, and I'll add a name which will just be index. Add a comma here. We'll save that. And now let's jump back into our videos app. We'll create a new folder in our app. We'll call it templates. Now within this folder, we'll create a new folder and we'll call it videos. This is where by default Django will store all the templates, so it has to be within our app we'll create a folder called templates, then another folder that's the same name as the app, and then within here we can put all of our templates. So I'll create a new file in here. I'll save this as index.html. And just to start, we'll create a very simple HTML page, and inside of here we will add just an h1 and put index. And now we should be able to run this and test our application. So open our terminal window back up, and I will type Python3 manage.py run server. You'll see this error for unapplied mitigations. We'll fix that later. For now, that won't be an issue. I'll open up a browser, go to localhost port 8000, press enter, and you get our index page right here. So everything's working great. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more to it. So right now we have just one HTML page, and that's great and all. But once we add a lot, we don't want to create every page from scratch like this. It'll be a lot of work a lot of copying and pasting to get just a HTML page ready to go. So to avoid this, I'm gonna create a new file in here. I'm gonna call it base.html. Oops. Base.html. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Bootstrap. And in here, I'll put my base template. So I'll make just an HTML template. Down here, I'm going to create a code block. If you're not familiar with what this is Django's templating engine. And it will just allow us to put code within these curly braces, and allow us just to put blocks of code within the base template. So I'll type block content, oops, spell it correctly, content, and then below here I'll put in block content. So all we're doing here is we're going to take our index code and we're going to put it in between here on our base template. So back in our index now, first we'll save this. Back in our index, we will go ahead and delete all of this, and I'll put in the very first line of the file will be extends and then videos/base.html. So you got to put the name of the app / the base template, and then underneath here, I can create that same content block by typing block content, and then here in block content. We'll go ahead now in between these two tags at h1 just put index. And now we bring our browser back over here, we reload the page, and it works fine just as before. Alright, so now let's go into creating our video model. So inside of our videos app, you will find a models.py file, and in here we're going to create our model for the video object we're creating in the database. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to create a class that has a bunch of different fields that we'll need in our video, in every video on the site. So for example, we'll need a title, description, video file, thumbnail, and date posted, all saved inside the database. And so we can do this with our models file. We can come in here, we can type class video to create a model, and we'll extend models.model. And then down here we can add all the fields we'll need for the for each video on the site. So we'll type title equals models.char field. And give it a max length, which will be we'll give it a max length of 100. Give it a description equals models.char field. Actually, our description will not be a char field, it's going to be a text field, because we want a bigger area to type text into. We get a video file, the models.file field, and I'm going to come back to what we put inside of here. For now, I'm going to leave it like that. I need a thumbnail. And once again, I'll leave that just like that for now, and as well as a date posted. I'll come back and explain this here in a second. For now, I'm just going to type it in, date time field, default equals timezone.now, and then up here we'll import from Django.utils imports time zone. Alright, so here are all of our fields created. Every video on the site, when we add a video, we'll need to give it a title, description, video file, a thumbnail, and the date post will happen automatically. These are all the attributes we'll need for our video, and we're going to save this in the database. So our title and description are pretty self-explanatory. Our video file will hold the actual video file for this video. The thumbnail will hold an image to display on the site, and the date posted. You see here we did models.datetime field default equals timezone.now. So what this is doing is if no date is entered, it will default to the timezone.now. But when we put this on the site, we're not going to give them this field. So it will always just default to the current time. So this date posted will always hold the current time when the video was originally posted. Now for these video files and thumbnails, we need to add a couple extra things. So first we add an upload to. So we'll go in here and we'll type upload_to equals. And now here we want to give it a path to put it in. I'm going to go ahead and create over here. Let's see where would it be? Right here. At the root of the project, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it media. And then inside of here, I'm going to create a new folder and call it uploads. And this is where I'm going to put all of the video files that get uploaded to the site. So in here, it will automatically go to the media. So all I got to do is give a relative path from there. I'm going to do uploads. And let's just go ahead and do one more. We'll do video files. So let's go ahead and inside our uploads folder. Here we'll create a new folder. We'll call it video files. So that's where all of our video files will go. Let's go ahead and also create a thumbnails folder as well. So we'll type thumbnails. I'll go in there. And we're going to go ahead and put that within our thumbnail field. We'll put an upload to equals uploads/thumbnail. So what we're doing here, we give a relative path starting at the media directory. So in our file path here, we have media, and then we have uploads, video files. So it goes to uploads, and then here video files, and looks inside this folder. And same thing for the thumbnail, it goes to this thumbnails folder. But we also want to add a little extra here. We could leave it like this, but we don't want the user to upload like a JPEG for the video file. That's not going to work. So we can import some validators from Django.core.validators. Import file extension validator. And this, just like its name, it will validate the extensions on the files. If I can type this correctly. So now, after upload to, put a comma, we'll type validators. And here, we'll create an array. And within this array, we'll write file extension validator. And then we'll give it an allowed extensions. And within here, we'll give it a list of all the allowed extensions. So for this case, all I'm going to allow right now is just MP4. So I'll just type MP4 in here. We'll do the same for the thumbnails. We don't want them to upload a text file or a video file for a thumbnail. So we'll give it a validators as well. With this equal to a list, file extension validator, allowed extensions equals, and then a list of all the extensions, PNG, JPEG, and we'll add JPEG spelled this way. So we'll upload PNG and JPEG images for our thumbnails. And that is most of all what we need for now for the model. Later we'll add a user field as well when we want to add user validation to all this, but for now we're going to leave it like this. So go ahead and save that. But now one important thing to do before we do anything else, we have to set up our media directory root and media directory URL inside of our settings, so it knows where to look for these folders and these files. So if you go to your settings.py here, we'll scroll down to the bottom. We'll set it up right here below the static. So type media files, and I'll make two variables, media root _root. Now will equal os.path.join, and we'll take our base dir and add media to it. And then below that, we'll make our media URL, which will equal just /media/. So what we're doing here is we're defining where our media root is. We'll take our base dir, which is defined up here, and this just goes to our base directory for the project. And from there, I'm just adding media to it, so notice to go from our base directory just into a folder called media, and there's everything we need. We'll go ahead and save that, and then we'll go into our URLs, and this will only work for development projects. Once you put it live using Apache or Nginx, you'll need to set it up differently based on whatever media or whatever web server you're using to serve the media files there. But for a development server, we can just go into our URLs. We can type plus static settings.media URL, comma document underscore root equals settings.media root. And then up here, we need to import from django.conf import settings from django.conf.urls.static import static. And all this is doing is just telling it where to get the files, adding them to our URL patterns. You can read more in the documentation for that on Django's website to learn more about what that's actually doing. For now, we'll leave it at that. We'll save that. Now let's go ahead and check everything, see if anything is working, if it's broken yet. So we'll cancel that. Run this. Everything seems to be going well. So now we'll go ahead and fix that error here. We have this unapplied migrations. So to fix this, we're going to stop our server. We'll type Python3 manage.py make migrations. And this will make this migrations file, and it creates the model for our video. And now we want to migrate those to the database. So we'll type Python3 manage.py migrate. And there it goes. And so our database is already set up by default with Django. It's SQLite 3 database, which you'll see down here. And we'll keep it like that for now. Maybe we'll change it later to a Postgres or MySQL, but for now this will be fine. And now with those changes, our model should be ready to be used now. So now let's go ahead and make sure we can view it on the admin page. So first, let's go into our admin.py, and this is where we can register any models or to be seen on the admin page, which we'll go to in a second. So let's go ahead and add it here. First, we're going to import it. So we'll import from.models, import video, and then we'll add admin.site.register video. And this just tells it to make it visible and usable on the admin page. So with that saved, let's go ahead and open up our browser again. Let's go to localhost port 8000/admin. Oh, I didn't start my server. Let's go ahead and start the server again. There we go. Now let's go here, load this, and now it gives us this login page. But we didn't create a login yet. So to fix that, open our server up, we'll go ahead and stop it again, and we'll type Python3 manage.py create super user. We'll go ahead and just give it admin. We'll leave the email address blank. We'll give it a password. And we'll go ahead and bypass that for now, just for this tutorial. And now we like that user created, we can go ahead and run our server again. We'll log in. And here we go. Now we're inside the admin page. Down here, you'll see the video's model. Click on it, click add video, and now we can add our video. It gives our title, our description, our video file, our thumbnail, and it automatically gives the current day and time. So everything's working great. Now let's go ahead and start creating our actual views for the video CRUD operations. So to start, let's create our view. So we'll go into our views. And for now, we'll leave this index one here for now. We're going to change this later to make it a list view. That'll probably be done in the next tutorial. But for now, let's go ahead and just add our create view. So below this view, we'll go ahead and create a class called create video. We need to inherit from create view. And now up up here, let's go ahead and import create view from Django.views.generic.edit import create view. And now inside this class, we need to give it a model. So we'll get model will equal video, which we also need to import. So up here, we'll do from.models import video. And now below our model, we need to give it the fields we want. So we'll type fields. And now inside of here, we need to give it all the fields we want. So in our models of UI, we need to tell which one of these you want to show up on the form. So we could do just in quotes underscore underscore all underscore underscore, and I would give all the fields, but we don't want all of them in this case. We don't want this date posted showing up because we want this to automatically go to the current time. So instead, we have to give an actual list. Whoops. So back in our views, we won't do that. Instead, we'll give it an actual list of all the different fields we want. So it'll be title, description, video, file, and thumbnail. And the last thing we need to add real quick, well, second to last thing, there's two more things. The last field we need to add here is our template name. So we'll type template underscore name, and this will equal videos/create underscore video.html, which this we have not created yet, which we'll do in a second. But the final thing we want to add is we want to tell it where to go after the form submits successfully. So to do so, we'll type def get success URL self, pass itself there. And this won't make a ton of sense right now because we haven't created the video detail, but that hopefully will make more sense once we do so. So for now, we'll just type it in out, reverse, put video dash detail underscore wargs equals, and I'll pass in a dictionary of pk as a key, and the value being self.object.pk. I'll come back to this in a second. For now, we'll just leave that here for now. And now let's go ahead and create this create video HTML template. So within of our videos, our templates and videos, here we'll create a new file. We'll just call it create video.html. And I already have all this HTML created. I don't want to create it right now because it'll take a while to go through everything. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy that in real quick. And all of this code will be available on GitHub. Paste it in here. And all we're doing here is, once again, we're creating this videos, or we're extending the videos that base HTML template. This tag here will be loading Chrissy forms. We'll do that later. So for now, I'm going to delete that out and remove this as well. We'll add that in a second. But then we have our block content, and we have a container, a row, column, all this stuff. And all these different CSS styles, we're going to use Bootstrap to make them look good here in a second. But we'll do that here in a second. So let's go ahead and save that and save this. And now this won't work because of this. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this out for the time being and save that. And now let's go ahead and see, after we add our URLs, if we can get this view to load. So let's go into our URLs here, and we'll add another view. And what I'm going to do here, instead of just adding in all the video views here, it would get kind of long, and it might make this a little more, not as easy to read, I guess. So I'm going to go and include another file here for the rest of the video views that are not at the root URL. So first, let's go ahead into our videos app. Let's create a new file. We'll save this as urls.py. And then back in this URLs file here, we're going to go ahead and just we'll just copy it just to get a starting point. Where is it? Right here. Paste that in there. We can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this, as well as our views here can go away. And now we want to add our include here. So up here with our path, we need to add include as well. Import that, and then below this path, we'll create another path. We'll put it at the URL videos, So go to localhost 40,000/videos. We'll go to all these URLs, add our trailing slash, and we'll include videos.urls. And we'll add a comma there. We'll save that. Let's go ahead and copy this here and go into our URLs and paste that there. Now, in this URLs file, everything will start at videos/ and add whatever else we put here. Hopefully in a second, once we go to the browser, it'll make sense. But for now, we're at just a create, and this will go to this. This will go to our create view, our create video view. So up here, for the imports, we'll type from.views import create video. And now down here, we'll put create video. And if you're not familiar with class-based views, we need to put dot as video or as view to load it as a view in Django. And they'll give it a unique name. We'll just give it video-create. Go ahead and save that. Now see if we can get it to run, open up in our browser. So let's go back to the site. We'll go to /videos/create right there. And here's our form. Honestly, right now it looks terrible, which we'll fix here in a second, but at least we know it's working and it's loading correctly. And we have all of our fields loading correctly as well. So that's good. But let's go ahead and make it look a lot better. So over in our HTML template, or our index, or our create view, I got rid of that line here. I'm going to add that back in. So we'll add in this load crispy forms tag right here. And then we'll add down here a filter of crispy. If you don't know what filters or crispy forms are, this is just a way to add Bootstrap and make the forms look a lot prettier automatically without having to really do anything. And then this crispy filter just adds all of the Bootstrap styles and classes to the form itself without doing anything extra. It's very easy to get good looking forms up and running pretty quickly using this. But we need to go ahead and set all this up. So first we need to add Bootstrap. We don't have Bootstrap added yet. So let's go into our base HTML, and we're going to change this a little bit. So I'll open up a browser here. We'll go to get started, and we'll come down here and we'll grab the starter template. Copy that. We'll go ahead and paste that all over here. And then down here, we'll grab this hello world. We need to add our content block back again. So we'll type block content. Here we will add in block content. Go ahead and save that. And this will automatically add in the required meta tags. It'll add in our link to the Bootstrap CSS as well as a link to the Bootstrap JavaScript and jQuery, everything else needed right here. So with that added, we need to go ahead and install crispy forms, and we should have better looking forms after that. So to get that installed, we'll open our terminal back up. We'll stop our server, and we'll type pip install Django-crispy-forms. We'll that install our crispy forms, and go to open this up over here. You can go ahead and just search crispy forms, and they'll give you this user guide that kind of tells you how to use it. We're using the crispy form tag here, which you can see it gives you the example of load crispy forms and add the filter. So yeah, I'll put the links to everything in the description below, so you can get to these links to read more about these different things. Now with that installed, let's go ahead and just restart our server again so we don't forget. And now let's go to our settings.py. The last thing we need to do is tell crispy forms what template pack to use to load, to add the styles, I guess. So real easily, we can just come in here, below all this, and we just type crispy, in all caps, template pack equals, and then in a string just type bootstrap 4. That's the version of Bootstrap we're using, so we'll just type bootstrap 4. You can use 2 and 3 as well, but you might as well use the newest version. Go ahead and save that. And now with all that added, I think that should be it. Just double check. We have our block content here. Let's go ahead real that's fine actually. Yeah, everything else should be here. Should be added, ready to go. Now let's go ahead and open up our browser. So open the browser, go back here. Let's reload this. Let's see what we get. We get a. Oh, one last thing I did forget to do. We need to go to our settings.py, and we also need to add this as an app, just like we did for our videos. So up here, below our videos, we'll just go ahead and a string type crispy underscore forms and add a comma here. Save that. Now let's go ahead and go back to our browser, reload the page, and there we go. And now we have this page automatically created with a much better looking form without doing a whole lot with it, which is really nice. It also gives some good validation as well, and gives you good styles for the validation as well. For now, we hit submit. We'll get an error. If you fill everything out though, test, just choose any video. We'll go ahead and hit submit. We'll get an error. That's because we took away our success URL, so there's nowhere to go. But if we go to admin, go to videos, we have our video object created. So everything else is working great. We just add that success URL back, and that will give us a place to go once it submits the form. Let's go ahead and for now we'll go ahead and just delete this, so we can test again in a second. Back to the site. You'll also see that our index page has some more styles now to make it look a little better as well. Okay, with that added, let's open our text editor back up. We have everything kind of set up. Let's go ahead and create our detail view, which will also hopefully make this create view get success URL added, makes a little more sense as well. So let's go back to our views, and now below this class, we'll create another class. We'll call it detail video. This will import from detail view, which we'll need to import. So up here, below our create view, we'll go ahead and import from Django.views.generic.detail import detail view. And now within this class, we'll go ahead and add a model, which will equal video. And now below this model, we'll add a template name, which will equal videos/video underscore detail.html, which we'll create in a second. But that's it. That's all we need to do for this to make this work, for the view at least. So now let's go ahead and uncomment this as well. Let's fix our indents. And now we need to add our URL first, and then we'll come back and explain this. So let's go into our urls.py, and here we already included our videos, so we'll go to our videos URL, which will be right here, and this will have what we need. So we'll go to localhost/videos, and we'll go / the primary key. Yes, let's go put the primary key of the video. So to do so, type path. Instead of string, we'll put $, int, :pk, greater than sign, and then put a trailing slash. And so what we're doing here is we're saying we want to add pretty much add a variable to our URL. And so every model object automatically comes with a primary key. We didn't put it here, but it's automatically added in here, just as a unique identifier for each object. So the first thing we'll have the primary key of 0. Second one we add will be 1, 2, 3, etc. for as many as we add. So what we're doing is we're just putting that in here so we get a unique URL for each video that we have on the site. And now let's go and import our detail video. Our detail video. And we'll add it as the view here. So we'll put detail video, and like last time, we'll put as underscore view. And we'll give it a name, which will equal video-detail. We'll go ahead here and save this. And now let's go back to our views for a second. And you'll see for our create view, we put a def get success URL, return reverse, which actually we need to import up here. Reverse. And then what we're doing here is returning the reverse of this URL. So we're just going to this URL pretty much. Video detail, which is this detail view we just created. So we're going to that view, a URL, I guess, and we're passing in a PK of the current object.pk. So whatever video we create, we'll take that primary key and we're passing into the video detail URL. So in our URLs, put that PK number in right here. We're going to that view. Hopefully that makes a little more sense. All we're doing is we're just going to that view, the detail view of that video we just created. And we're passing the primary key to give it a unique URL so it knows which video object we're going to and which one to load on the screen. So finally, let's add our detailed video URL, or our detailed video template. So we'll go into our videos, create a new file. We'll save this as detail_video.html. And once again, I'm not going to type all this from scratch right now because that will take a while. I created this very simple HTML file here. We'll go ahead and copy it. I'll paste it in here. You see there's a lot here. I won't go into everything. I'm using some different things here to show the video. We're using this Vue.js library, which I'll add here in a second, to make the video look a little better than just the normal HTML5 video editor. But the important stuff here, we're passing in this, and a few other things. So let's go ahead and go through these real quick. So when you put two curly braces like this inside Django's template engine, you're passing a variable into the HTML file. So what we're doing here is we're taking the object, which is automatically added. Normally, if you were to add something to like a function-based view, you have to go in here and create context, and then create a dictionary that holds like object, which will equal whatever object we have, and we'll pass that we'd pass that context in down here in our render to make it available in the template. But with all these create views and class-based views, what's really nice about them is that's done automatically. So none of this is needed, and it automatically happens. So it automatically passes this object context to our template, which just holds the current video object, is all it's doing. So back in this detailed video, we're taking that title and we're passing it inside this H5 to show the video title. And then down here, we're getting the date posted, and we're passing this filter with date, colon, and then this string here, which formats the date. So we just want the month, the day, and the year. It will have a bunch of extra stuff. It'll format it weird otherwise, so this makes it look a little more readable for the user. We have some more stuff here. We have a modal for the share button, which we can look at later. But the important thing is anytime we have these two curly braces, we're passing in a variable from the template. And that's really all it is. There's some other stuff here just to make it look better and whatever else, and to add some other functionality, but more or less that's all we're doing here. So now, before we load this up, we need to add this video.js. And if you're not familiar with what that is, you need to go here and just pull it up real quick. Video.js. It's this JavaScript video player, and you can choose different ones. There's all these different choices available, and they have these better looking video players than you would normally have from HTML5 video. So I'll put a link to this in the description as well, and you can go ahead and find the docs here to explain a little more what we're going to do. But to make this work, all we have to do is add some things to our base HTML template. So first, let's go ahead and add in a few things. So first we need to add in this link in the head. So all we need to add in is just a CDN for the JavaScript and CSS to make it work. And so they have, in their documentation, they have links to all this, which I'm just going to go ahead and copy them all over real quick. And this is just some scripts and a link tag there. And then finally, we need to add in this script down here at the very bottom before the closing body tag. And that's all we need for the base video.js. So in our detailed video, what we're doing here is you create this tag. This is how you use it. So how you use this real quickly is you create this video.js tag, and inside here we'll pass in some different attributes. Pass in that class to make it look better. We get a width and a height, give it the controls, and then we add this data setup attribute, and in here I'm adding a couple other custom attributes to it. So I'm adding here is a playback rates, and this list that has the different playback rates. This just allows you just to change the speed of the video, just a feature I want to add to it, and fluid true just to make it more responsive on mobile devices. But down here we add a source tag right here, and we need to pull out the source of the video. And to do so, all we need to do is go into our media, uploads, video files, and find this video file. But if you remember in our models, we already specified this in here. So we already know where it's at back in our detail view. All we need to do is give it /media/ and then pass in, using our double curly braces to pass in a variable, object._video file. And give it a type, which is video/mp4, because that's the only type of video we're allowing to be uploaded to the site currently. And this p tag here is just in case they don't have JS enabled or JavaScript enabled, or don't have a web browser that supports it. It gives them this instead of the video. But that's really it. That's all we need to do to make this video work. Once again, there's links here for their documentation. I'll put all of this in the description so you can see how to use this and learn a little more about it if you'd like to do so. But with all that added, let's go ahead and see if we have everything working. So open up our browser. Let's refresh this. Let's go to /videos/create. Now let's go ahead and just create a video. Let's call it test description. We'll go ahead and choose the thumbnail. Now with all that there, we'll go ahead and hit submit. And we got an issue here. Template does not exist. Oh, so issue here is when I typed it in, I typed video_detail, and in here I called the video detail_video. Let's go and fix that real quick. In our views, we'll go to our reviews right here. We'll change this here to detail and this to video. Let's go ahead and save that and try this one more time. So we'll go ahead and open up this. Let's go back, refresh the page. We'll type test video, test description. We'll choose our video file and choose the thumbnail. And with all that selected, we'll go ahead and hit with all that added, we'll go ahead and hit submit. So we have a video here loaded now. Hit play, it plays the video. We have our playback features here that we added, and we can go on the other screen, but it goes into that little, whatever you call it, the little small screen in the corner, and we can also go into the full screen. So that's working well. Alright, so let's go ahead and add our update view and delete view, and that'll be it for this first tutorial. So first we'll add our update view. We'll go ahead and go into our text editor here. Let's go ahead to our views and add our update view. So below this detail video, we'll go ahead, add a class, update video, update view, and once again you need to import the update view, and that will be imported from the same place we import create view. So let's put a comma and put update view. Now inside of this class, let's go ahead and add a couple things. So first, once like all the other class-based views, we need to give it a model. So model equal video. And then once again here, we add the fields we want to update. So for this site, you can do it how you want, but for this one I'm making, I'm going to go ahead and only let them update the title and description. So let's go ahead into our fields, and we'll create a fields variable, and we'll add in a list here to add the fields we want to be able to update in the form. So just like in our create video, we create the fields for the title, description, video file, and thumbnail, except for the update view, I don't want them to update the file or the thumbnail. Once they submit it, that's going to be it for those. So inside this fields list, we'll create a title, and we'll add, we'll not create a title, we'll add title and description as strings inside this list. And let's go ahead and type fields correctly as well. That will be useful. And now it's going to give a template name, and for this, all we need to do is give it the same template we used before. So let's do videos/create video.html. The form will be the same, just the fields will be different, but we can give the same exact template as before, so we don't need to create a new template for our update view at all, which is very nice. And then once again, once we submit this, we need to tell it where to go. So I'll go ahead and add a def get success URL, passing self because we're in a class, and we'll go ahead and return reverse video detail quargs, which is the keyword arguments to pass in our primary key and give it a value of self.object.pk. And this also is just the same as we did before for our create view. We're returning this video detail URL using quargs, which is keyword arguments, to pass in a primary key and give it a value equal to self.object.pk, which is the current primary key of the one we just updated. And now with that added, we'll go ahead and save this. We'll go ahead and go into our URLs. And now, inside of here, we're going to go ahead and add the path for the update view. So to path, well, once again, we'll do int : pk inside of less than greater than signs / update. So right here, real quick again, we're taking the primary key from the one we just updated, or from the one we want to update. We're passing it into our URL right here, so we have a unique URL for each video, and we're doing /update to give it a URL pattern that we want to load the form to update this specific video. And then once again up here, we'll import update video, and then down here we'll add it to our view, or add to our path, update video.as view, like we did before. Give it a name, which equals video-update. Add a comment here. We'll save that. And now let's go ahead and go to this. Let's try to update the video we just added. So we'll go into our browser, right here, video/3, and we'll just add at the very end of here, update. And right here you can see we can get update the title and description. So we'll just type in here, updated test video. We'll submit it and see what happens. And then down here you can see we have our updated test video, our title updated to what we had just changed it to. And that's it. Now we have our update video added. These classes used make it very, very easy to quickly get all these different operations, CRUD operations added. And with very little amount of code, really. I mean, we did this whole thing in just a few lines. And now one last thing we're going to add is our delete video. So we added a way to add the videos, view them, and then update them. The last piece of our CRUD operations is a delete operation. So to do so, for now, all we're going to do is just go to the URL, and we'll delete it that way. Eventually, we'll go onto this template. We'll give it a little button here if you're logged in to delete it. But for now, we're not worried about that. We're just trying to get just the basic operations working. So, back in our views, below this update video, we'll add a class. We'll call it delete video, and this will import delete view. Or this will not import, but inherit delete view. And then this also will be imported from the exact same place we did our create and update views. So let's put delete view. And now down here, this view is going to look very similar like we just did. We're going to have, it's look almost exactly the same really. We'll have model equals video, template name equals videos/delete video.html. And this will just be a confirmation. Django requires a "Are you sure?" sort of page for every delete video, for every delete view. That's what this template name will take you to. And then finally, where do you want to go after we delete the video? Well, we don't have a actual video to redirect to, so instead we will just go to the index page. So to return reverse index. We'll save that. Go into our URLs. Add the path for this as well. So we'll go ahead here and type path. And once again, we want to pass in the primary key, so we know which video we want to delete. Inside less than greater than signs /delete. And let's go and import our delete video. And then we'll do just like we did before. We'll put delete video.as_view. And we'll give it a name of just video-delete. Add a comma here for later. And there we go. Now let's go ahead and go back to our browser and see if we did this correctly. So we'll go to videos/3/delete. Or actually, I already know we forgot to make the template. So before we do that, let's open back our Sublime Text. And now let's go ahead and make our "Are you sure?" template. So we'll go here, and I don't remember what I called this already. Just delete video. Okay. So here we'll do a save, and we'll call it delete_video.html. And once again, I already have this set up, so I'm going to go ahead and just copy this in for now. And I'll go over it here in a second. So we'll bring that in here. Oops. And once again, we're extending the base template, adding a content block. Within that content block, we're creating a little just HTML page here. It just has a form, and it just says delete video. This will delete the video forever. This cannot be undone. Just kind of are you sure sort of saying, and there'll be a button to delete it. And that's all it is. One thing I don't think I explained yet was a Csrf token that you might have seen earlier. And what this does, this just gives it, it's a cross-site request forgery. It protects against that. It gets this little token to protect against this malicious use of different forms on your site. You can look into that. It's pretty interesting if you look in like kind of what that does and how to protect against it. But that's all it is. It's just a cross-site request forgery token. It's required on forms. They'll get an error if you don't have it. So just make sure to add that in to avoid those errors. Okay, with everything saved, let's go ahead and go back to our browser. We'll do videos/delete. And now we have this little form here, delete video, are you sure? We'll go ahead and press delete. It takes back to index. Now if we try to go back to that video, you'll see we'll get an error, hopefully. Yep, so the page not found. So it did delete the video correctly, and we can double check that again if you want to, like going into admin. Going to videos, and now we have this video object, which is our other one. This is not the one that we just added, because it doesn't have the updated one. So the one we added is deleted, so that's good. And that's really it for this first video. There's still a lot more to add. Go to video. This page here has nothing on it except index. We want to list all the videos. We want to have like these little boxes here like you do on YouTube to list all the different videos. We want to add ability to log in to post videos. We want to restrict logins just to those who are logged in. We want to add some more functionality for users, maybe add a profile. There's a lot more we're going to add to this, but for now we're going to stop here for now. In the next video we'll add more to it and make this better and better after each video hopefully. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.